Hot take incoming, as the cool kids say. I was just thinking about this rise of far-right anti-immigrant parties in France and thinking about our buddies across the water there in Britain and the 2016 Brexit vote there, which again to a greater or lesser extent was a vote fueled by anti-immigrant feeling. And everyone's talking now, what do we do about this blossoming anti-immigrant sentiment in Europe? Let's just look at Britain and France for a moment, okay? Surely the solution there is education and knowledge, yet again. It's a bit like the so-called Israel-Palestine conflict. As we've seen in the last few months, when more people do the reading and actually come to terms with the history, all confusion and mystery goes out the window. It's intuitively understood. And particularly countries like France and Britain with unspeakably gory, brutal colonial histories. If more people in France and Britain and England, in the school systems, in pop culture, understood the true face of colonialism, because what we get often is either an obscuring of the face, the true face, or a dressing up as if colonialism was just a force for good. But if more people knew the actual history, because I believe most people are good, when they know better, they do better. If they learned about the ethnic cleansing, the mass murder of indigenous populations, the brutal wealth extraction, the dehumanization, the divide and conquer policies, the slave trade, the drawing up maps in territories you've never even been before, creating the causes and conditions for endless wars and poverty and inequality. If more people knew all that, they would see that the French and the British, far from having an anti-immigrant sentiment, have a duty of care to the displaced people of the global south, the people who are in the positions they are because of the colonial and neo-colonial policies of France and Britain and other so-called great European nations. So I think it comes down again to the George Santayana phrase of, those who do not remember their history are doomed to repeat it. And for a twist, which I hope illustrates my point, if you look that up online now, that phrase is actually credited to Winston Churchill.